Hey guys, and welcome to this video in the data series on displaying and analyzing time series data. So time series data is all about recording data values at regular intervals. Okay, so it could be temperature recordings, it could be speed recordings, finance recordings, could be just about anything that can be measured at regular intervals over time that can then be analyzed to see trends and be able to make predictions. We do have a bit of an example here. We have a finance share price. Okay, so we can look at this graph that's here. We can look at our time series graph and we can make some judgments and analysis about the graph. So for example, we can describe the trend at different times of the year. So here we're getting a little bit of an upturn. Then in these sections we're going down a little bit, we get another little bit of an uptick right about there. And then we can make predictions using this information, we can make decisions using this information. Really important that we can do this. Okay. What we do then is we have a little bit of terminology to think about, and it's about the trend line. So this line in red that's on this page. Alright, so this little red line that I'll make a little bit redder. Okay, that little red line is the trend line. Alright, so when it's plotted, alright, and it resembles a straight line, it should be resembles a straight line, sorry about that. We can say the trend is linear because that's what linear means. Linear means straight line. Literally what linear means, okay? Supposed to be a straight line, not an straight line. So I should probably fix that up. There we go, that looks a little bit better. Alright. Here's an example. We have a bit of an example. We're going to try and get it all in one today. We've got an approximate population of an outback town. So this could be any outback town from 1990 to 2005. So we've got a 15-year period. Okay, so that's what we've got here. We've got a 15-year period. So time, that interval, those intervals, they don't need to be short periods. They can be quite long, like a full year, or they could be quite short, as in 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. We're going to grab the axes that I have given the paper here, and we're going to plot this as a time series. So very quickly, I'm going to pop in some scale. And I'm going to keep my scale as close to even as I possibly can and be able to match what's going on. So what I'm going to do is each one of these, I'm going to put a little dash. And then I'm going to go up by a certain number of years. I'm not going to use all 15. I don't need to use all 15. I might go up by 2s instead. So if I start at 1990, and then I can go to 1992. Now I can write it out as full like that. I can shorten it like that. I can even write it sideways. As long as you have your scale marked. So I've gone all the way to 2006. Now, in my data, I only go to 2005. That doesn't matter. Okay. Up the side, well, we're looking at population growth. Okay, and the population of the town it starts at 1300 and it's steadily going down. So 850 is the lowest. So I might start down here. See how I go. I know I need my last one to be 1300 at the very least. So I can go up starting at 700 all the way up to 1300 here, and that can break it up pretty nicely. Okay, so now we have our scale sitting there pretty nicely. Alright, all nice and even. I need to plot the points. So if we remember, that is a coordinate pair. Coordinate pair. Coordinate pair. So we want to make sure that we're using those to plot our points. So our first pair for 1990 is 1300. So we go to 1990 and 1300. In 91, or 92 rather, because that's our next number. In 92, we were at 1250. 94 at 1000. So that's quite the dramatic drop. In 96, we had 900, not quite as big a drop, but still pretty significant. 98, it went to 800. Then we probably dropped it down just a little bit in between 98 and 90 and 2000, so we should probably put that in there. We'll go and put all those middle ones in a second. The 2001 goes there. 202 is 850. 04 was 800. Now we're going to go in and put in the middle bits. So 91 was 1250. So it stayed there as a bit of a line. 93 was 1150. And you can see there, I'm just going to those ones in the middle. So it's nicely even and broken up. So with that. Where are we up to? 95. And then 97. Went up again. 98, 99. Went back down to 700. Back up to 800. Then down to 750. Back up to 850. 950 was next. 800 and then 850. So you can see we're not going to get a straight line from this one, but that's okay. We're going to join those lines up now. So because there's not a great deal of distance, you should really use a ruler if you can. Just to get some of those bigger distance gaps nice and straight. Sometimes they don't go really well. Alright. Okay, so here's our finished graph. Okay, there's our finished graph. We've drawn in all our line segments between the points. We have our time. So these are our time periods. Down the bottom here. Alright, this is our population across the vertical. Population. And that's where we're looking at. Now, what was our second question? Describe the trend in the data over that period of time. So it says 16 years there. Yeah, 16 years. I got it a little bit wrong earlier. So what is our trend? Right, well, you can see here, it's a pretty solid downward trend. Okay, there's a fairly solid decline. Then it goes up and down, then up a little bit and down again, and then up a little bit and then down again. So it's quite up and down at the end in the last 6 years. For the first 10 years, that is definitely a downward trend. Just fix up that S. Alright, so it starts in 1990 and the trend goes to 1996. Then the trend is not quite as clear. Alright, so it still tends downwards. But it still has some of that more jagged look to it. Alright. That is time series data graphs. You can see here, if we look at the example at the top again, there's our time periods. This is what is being measured. In this case, it is money. And below, we're measuring population. Alright? So that's how it all works. Have fun answering questions. See you in the next video.